creative friends, it's Linda here from Linda Louise Art, and in today's tutorial I am going to cover some of the InDesign basics. Adobe InDesign is an amazing layout program that I use for all of the book design that I do. It's a great tool for publishing. I work with a lot of authors. I work with two publishing companies to do book design, both book cover design and book interior design. InDesign is a wonderful tool for laying out the book interiors, getting them all formatted and ready for the printer. And today I'm going to use an example of how I would set up a document and lay out a book interior, how I would add pages, how I would change margins, master pages, and then how we can play with some of those font styles and actually create character styles and paragraph styles to make it simple to control the formatting throughout your book. So if that sounds useful to you, then let's get started. In Adobe InDesign, with that open, we're going to create a new document. So we just come up here to File, New Document. And we just want to look at the settings here before we get started. So we need to make sure we've got everything set up correctly how we want it. Now for my book, and often for books with publishers, we will use inches for our measurement. It's already preset here to my most common size book that I create for my authors, which is 5 by 8 inches. Sometimes we do a slightly bigger one, 6 by 9. And if it's a children's book or something non-standard, there are other sizes available, but you set that to whatever size you want your pages to be. Now here, I always choose facing pages. So this will ensure, which I'll show you in a minute, when you're creating your book, as you scroll through the document and see the pages, they will be laid out exactly as you will see them in the printed book. So for example, first of all, you will see just a right-hand page. That will be your first page, as when you open a book, you only see that one page. And then as you turn, you'll see 2 pages. So it just makes it easier as you're creating your book to see things how they will be laid out in print, because it can get a little bit complicated if you just have a single page view. You have to figure out what's left and what's right. So make sure that facing pages is checked if you're doing a book layout or even a magazine layout or anything like that. I only need 1 column because I'm making a standard book layout, so I don't need more than 1 column, but you may require 2 columns if you're having a non-standard layout or creating something a little different. Now margins here, I always use 1/2 inch margins all the way around. Sometimes you might want to add a slightly larger margin for the inside here, which is the part where the book opens, just to allow for the binding. The margins, just in case you don't know, I'm sure you do, but just in case you don't know, when you look at your book and you look at the text, it's the space all around the outside of the text and content. So you want to give it room to breathe around the edge. So add your margins there. And then coming down here, if you would have a book where you wanted to have images going all the way to the edge of your page, your printer would require you to add a bleed. So what a bleed is, it adds on some an extra space around the outside of your document, around the outside of where your document will be printed. And any images or background colours or anything that you want printed on your page that needs to extend to the edge of the page, you would actually extend that right to the edge of the bleed area. But we'll cover that in more detail in another video. You need to find out the bleed requirements from your printer. Ingram Spark, who I use, it's often 0.125 inch bleed requirement, but we're not going to need that today in the book that I'm creating, and we're keeping it simple today. Just a text book with simple text titles, etc. We're not having images in this one. I really want to keep this one just the basics. So that's all we need to do for now. Let's click create. And we have our first page in our book. Now imagine opening up your book. This is the first page that you see. So the first thing that I want to show you here is some of our windows. Well, we're going to start with the pages window. I always like to have the pages window open because we'll be using that a lot as we create the book. So if it's not open, when you open up your InDesign, you can go up here to window, and this controls all the windows you have open. And if pages isn't checked there, just check pages and it will open that for you. Now, as you can see here, we only have 1 page here, number 1. We're going to change that now. We're going to add a few more pages. Well, I will add 4 pages for now, just to show you how it works. And I like to add them as I go, as I add the content. So come up here to the 3 little lines, and click insert pages, or you can do it by pressing the little plus down here, which will add a page for you. But we're going to use these three little lines and click on insert pages. I'm going to insert 4 pages. You can add them at any point in your document if you wanted to add pages in. Once you have a lot of pages in the middle, you can choose where to add it, before another page, after another page, but we're just simply going after page 1. And here you can choose which page master the page has. I'm going to come to that in a moment. So click OK. And now you can see here we have our first page, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more pages. And now you can see hopefully what I meant about the 2-page facing layout. So we can see it's in a book style. As you open your book, you have your title page here, and then you open it up and you have 2 pages facing each other. So the next thing I would like to talk about is master pages. So what a master page is, it's a page that if you add any content to that page and then you attribute or apply that master to your content pages, all the content that you've added to that master page will be visible on those content pages. So let me show you what I mean. Up here at the top of our Pages tab, this is where our master pages will be. At the moment we just have an A master, which is already applied to all of our pages. So I'm going to double click on our A master and open that up. So anything that I were to apply now to this page, be it text, images, background colours, that would automatically apply to all of the pages down here which have been assigned the A master. What it's useful to use these master pages for is things, for example, page numbers, which we're going to do in a moment. And sometimes, you know, when you read a book, people like to have some information at the top of the pages, which could be the author name on the left side and the title of the book on the right side, or the title of the current chapter, depending on how you want to format your book. But for now, just to show you how it works, let's add a page number in. So as you can see, our content edges are where the edge of the pink and purple border are. That's anything beyond that is our margin. So we want to add in a text box below the margin. So to do that, we're coming over here to our toolbar and selecting the type tool, and we're going to click and drag to create a box, a text box, into which we're going to insert our page number. So to add a page number, we're going to go to the type menu at the top, scroll down to insert special characters, markers, and current page number. It will give us an A in the place, but once that's applied down here to the different pages, it will automatically work out and apply the current page number. So I'm just going to format this a little bit. What we're going to do is over here, we're going to come to our character tab, and here I can select a different font. So have a scroll through my fonts. Let's just go with Railway for this for now. And I'm going to make that font a bit smaller because I don't want my page numbers to be massive. And then I'm going to go to the paragraph tab and just center align that. And now I'm coming over here to my move arrow. I'm just going to select that box and move it down a little bit using my arrow keys, just so that it's not touching the bottom of any content, any text over here at the edge of our content area. And now I'm going to use Command C with that box selected and Command V to create a duplicate of it, which I'm going to add on the opposite facing page. So as you can see in these masters, everything that I apply onto this left-hand page master page will be applied to any pages, any left-hand pages with the A master assigned to it, and anything I add here on the right-hand page will be assigned to any right-hand pages with the A master applied. So once that's done, you will see now if I click down onto one of our pages, it's added in down here our page numbers. I can't edit that. There is a way that we can edit it by command clicking on it, and we can override the master items. But to keep things simple, we've got page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, and as we go through the book, any page that we assign the A master to will have that page number added. Now I'm going to come back to the very first page, and I actually don't want to have a page number on this first page. This is going to be a title page. So I'm going to click here on page 1, I'm going to right click, And this is where you can change what master is applied to that page by clicking on Apply Master to Pages. And in the little drop down, I'm going to select None because I don't want any content on this page. Now, I have created books where there are many masters, and you can actually master pages. You can actually create new ones by either highlighting the master, right clicking and selecting duplicate master spread A master. I'll show you quickly. It would create a B master for us, which we could then go into, and if we wanted to add something else here, you might want to have some pages with just page numbers on and some pages with page numbers and titles at the top. So you can do that by creating new master spreads up here. I've had some which have gone all the way down the alphabet because they were long books with many chapters, and we had to have a different title at the top for each chapter. So I just applied the relevant master to the relevant pages. But for now we're keeping it simple, so I'm just going to have this one master. Coming back to our first page, remember as you open the book, this is the first page facing you. I'm just going to add in here a title page. So often you also have a title page as your first page, and I'm only doing this to show you how to add an image, which is an image I've already created that I want to display the text on my title page. You can simply do this by adding text, but I just wanted to do this to show you how to add an image. So to add any images or objects, we go to File, Place, and we select our image. Now I have mine saved here, Light the Way title. See, it loads it up there in the cursor, and you can place it where you want. So I'm going to just put mine in the top corner of my page, and then I'm going to just use my cursor, my keyboard keys to move that image where I want it. Now it's actually a little large, so to make it a bit smaller we simply go to Object, Transform, Scale, and I can choose a scale. I'm going to make it 90%. As I have this selected, it will constrain the proportions for scaling, so it scales it the same width and height and keeps everything in proportion. I've got my preview clicked here so you can see the size it's making it. I'm going to click OK to that. I've got that all lined up where I want it on that page. So that's how we add an image. That's going to be the first page you see. Now usually when I was creating, if I'm creating a book, usually there would be lots of other front matter pages, like a copyright page, maybe a dedication, various things, even table of contents. I will cover that all later in a more detailed video, but this is the basics and the intro. So for now we're just going to pretend that we've done all of those pages, and we're going to move on to our first content page. Now usually when you've had opened the title page, the next page content would actually start on the next right hand facing page. So I hope this makes sense. The left hand page, which would be the back of that title page over here, would actually be blank. So I'm going to remove the page number from that page by simply clicking on that left page, right clicking on it, and Apply Master to Pages and selecting None, and you'll see that will just remove the page number over here. So our very first content page is going to be page 3 over here. So what we're going to do next is actually start to add our content in. Now you may want to do this by simply typing straight into InDesign, but as I'm working with books from other authors, it's not my own words, I'm going to go and copy it across from the manuscript they've sent me. Now this could come from any type of document, but mine in this instance has been sent in Microsoft Word. So I've got the manuscript open here. I'm just going to select, I'll start by just selecting a section of the text. I will often do this a chapter at a time, for example, but just as we're keeping this simple and just to show you the things I want to show you, I'm just going to select this first bit of text, Command C to copy that. And now back to InDesign, we're starting, as I said, on the right hand page here. So we want to select our text tool, and then I'm going to drag and create a text box right to the edges of our margin area. Now you can see the cursor's in that text box, so I'm going to just Command and V to paste the content that I have just copied from Word. There is more content than we have space for on this page and this text box. So you will see it automatically adds down here this red plus symbol. It's very small, but you can see it. Now if we click on that, go back to our arrow tool, sorry, and click on that red plus tool, it will load our cursor up with the remaining of that text. Now we can simply scroll down. I'm using 2 fingers on my mouse pad to scroll down. Go to the next page, sit it in the corner of that margin area and click, and it will automatically create another text box filling it with that content. And you can go forward and keep doing that until you have filled up your page with all the content that you've got. If you need to add new pages, simply come over to your Pages tab up here in the top right, click the 3 lines and then insert pages. As we did before, you can add as many pages as you want. So I wanted to add another 4 pages or 10 pages. I want them A master because I want them to have the page numbers on. I want them to come after page 5 because that's the last page in the document. Okay, and you see over here it's added all these new pages, but I don't actually need them right now, it's just to show you. So I'm going to scroll back to the beginning of the text we pasted. As you can see, it's stripped all formatting. So now here is where we get to do our formatting and layout for the book. And I am going to show you how to do that and then how to create character styles to make sure that when we paste further content, we can easily apply those same styles to the rest of the book, to the rest of the content, but I'll show you what I mean. So let's start with the title. I'm going to highlight our title here and I'm going to come over to character. I'm going to choose a font for this title and let's just stick with Railway for now. I'm going to make it a bit bigger and maybe make it bold. And then what I'm going to do is center align that title in the paragraph tab. And I'm going to add a bit of a margin on the bottom. So here in the paragraph tab, you can add margins to any side. You can indent things. So I'm just going to add a bit of a margin so we have a margin there below our text. Now to save this style so I can easily apply it to titles further on in the document, I'm going to highlight it and I'm actually going to come over to my character styles, and we want character styles and paragraph styles, which if they're not open, just go to Window, go down to Styles, and then you can see character styles and paragraph styles there. So just select those 2. So you see we have no character styles set at the moment and no paragraph styles set. Well, with this text highlighted, I'm going to, in the little 3 lines at the top, I'm going to select new character style, and we're creating this style which will have all of the settings that we've just set to that character for the title. I'm going to call this title main. Leave everything as it is and say OK. So that will apply to our title main character style over here. That will apply all of our font styles that we've just added. So it will make it the font that we've chosen, the font size that we've chosen, the font weight that we've chosen. But I also want to create a character style, a paragraph style, excuse me. So it's exactly the same thing. I'm going to create a new paragraph style, which will be title main. Okay. And now we have created a paragraph style, which is title main, and apply it to that. Make sure both of those are applied. The paragraph style will apply the margin that we've added. So obviously the alignment and the margins are to do with the paragraph, where the font weight, font size are to do with the character itself. So that's the difference between those 2. Now I want to, I'm going to change my font and text. I'm going to style my text a little bit. So there's a few things that we can do here. So we'll go back to our character window, and don't confuse character window with character styles. The character is where we can make any changes that we want to our character, and the paragraph we can make changes to the paragraph. But the styles boxes are when we apply those as a set style. It's a set of character properties and a set of paragraph properties that we can easily apply all at once, which I'll show you how to do in a moment. So I've selected my first paragraph here and I've gone to character. I'm going to choose the font that I want, and you can make it any font you want. It doesn't have to be the same as the title. I'm going to make this one Railway again, just as the example. I think that looks a little bit big, so I'm going to just bring it down to 10 points, and then I'm going to choose my paragraph styles. I want all of the text in my book to be justified with left alignment, so rather than left justified. So I'm going to apply that, and that's it for now. I'm going to create a new character style, just as I did with the title, and I'm just going to call that content because that's my main content style that I desire. Apply that, and then I'm going to create a paragraph style for content as well. And now I'm going to show you how we apply that to the rest of the text. So I'm going to highlight the rest of the text that I pasted in by clicking at the beginning and then shift clicking at the end, and then come over here to our character styles and I click on content, and it automatically applies the font styles and size that we added to add that character style. And then paragraph style, click on content, and as you will see, it's now justified it with left alignment. So that's an easy way that we can apply styles to large bulks of text. And I just want to show you quickly something else here. If I go down here, if I come back to my Word document, say I wanted to add some more, and ignore all the bold and everything for now, we will do that later on. Select a bit more of my text, copy it. Now I'm going to click below here, and what I want to do is actually paste this text in, but paste it with these fonts already selected and the settings already selected. So I make sure that before I paste it in my character styles and my paragraph styles, I have content selected, and then I Command V to paste it. And as you can see, it's now pasted the rest of that text with that style already applied. There are other settings that we could choose. For example, if we wanted to add some more paragraph settings, we could have a larger margin at the bottom of the paragraph. If you wanted it left aligned, you could left align it. Some people like it justified, some people like it left aligned. So now if you want to make changes, then make those changes to the whole bulk of text. Say, for example, your client wanted to make changes right at the end of the book and you needed to apply that to everything. You can make the change. You can come back over here to your paragraph styles. You'll see it has a little plus there. Now that shows me that it has content applied as a paragraph style, but that I have made some manual changes. Now, in order to make those same changes to the rest of the paragraph style that has content applied, we just click on the content paragraph style and click redefine style, and it will update everything with content to the style that we currently have selected. So redefine style, and you will see that it's now changed everything to have that extra margin and the left alignment, which I actually don't like at all. I'm going to show you something else. One thing that I really detest is when we have these hyphenated words being broken from one line onto the next with a hyphen. So in order to not have that in any of our content, come over to our paragraph box, which I've just accidentally stuck to my other boxes, but that's okay. And at the bottom there, you see it says hyphenate. So we just uncheck that, and it takes away those hyphens and forces the word onto the next line. Now I'm just going to change it back to justified alignment and take off that extra margin at the bottom of the paragraph because I didn't like that. Back to my paragraph styles, right click on the content style and click redefine style, and it will just apply those changes to everything. So now let me just get my boxes back where I want them. So now that we've done that, you'll see we can scroll through all of our pages and it has applied those same styles. Here in the character styles is really where you can set up a lot of things. So I could make, for example, a bold character style. I could come here, find my character box, and change this content to bold or semi-bold or whatever you desire. And then I can create a new character style in the same way that we did before and just call it bold. So now we have a bold character style, and if at any point throughout the book, the document, you want to make something else bold, you can just highlight it and click bold. The bonus of doing this means that if later on you wanted all your bold text to be a few sizes bigger, I could easily come into this bold setting, either apply the change to this text, right click here and redefine style, or I could simply double click on bold and change some options in here. So I could make it 12 points for everything that has bold applied. And you see it makes those changes to all of the bits with bold applied. Other great things for using character styles, you can add subtitles, might want to highlight some text. Quotes is a great one. So for example, if this text here was a quote that I wanted to stand out and be different to some of the other content, the main content style, I could choose a different font for my quotes. Say we chose a serif font here. I could align that, let's come to my paragraph window, align that to the center, add a margin on the left and right, just so it really stands out, and maybe a bit more of a margin on the top and bottom. I might go back to character and make that italic. And then I could add a new character style called quote and a new paragraph style called quote. And apply those. And then at any point, excuse me, at any point, if there's any text that I would like to make into a quote, I can simply highlight it, click quote for my paragraph style, quote for my character style, and there we have it. We've applied that style to that part of the text. Now, I'm not particularly happy with how this quote style looks. It was just an example. If you wanted to change something and change it and make that change apply to all of the quotes throughout the document, you would simply highlight that particular paragraph or section of text that you want to make the change to, something with that style applied. I want to make a change to the paragraph here. I actually think I'll left align it. And then, as you can see in the paragraph styles, it's given us the little plus to show you that we've made a change there. So I'm going to just right click on that, click redefine style. And as you can see, it will change all blocks of text which have that paragraph style applied to it. If I wanted to make this a bit bigger, I would go into character, make the font a bit bigger, maybe make it 11 points, maybe change the line height there a little bit to give it a bit more space. And then I would come back to my character styles and redefine style. And again, it will apply those character changes to all sections of text that I have applied that particular style to, character style and paragraph style. I feel like I'm getting the words in a jumble now, but I hope that just by those examples you can see the power of using character styles and paragraph styles. Trust me, if you're creating a book that's 300 pages long and you want to change the size of all of the quote text throughout, or all of the bold text throughout, or change the alignment, it is so much easier to set up styles for yourself and be able to change everything just by changing the styles here, and it automatically applies to everything rather than having to go through your whole book changing everything manually. So I think that covers everything that I wanted to show you for now. With these character and paragraph styles, you can obviously add as many styles as you want. You can have italic styles, you can have all sorts of different font styles, different paragraph styles, and just add them as new character styles over there, use them throughout. When it comes to the pages, you can just, as I said, add as many page masters as you want, add as many pages as you want, and just keep going through your book and build it up that way. And I think that covers all of the basics of InDesign that you need to know to get started creating and designing the interior of your book.